Hello, families. So today we shifted gears from finding markups and increases in prices, and instead we're finding decreases in prices, so discounts and sales. So what we needed to do was first frame our thinking around what it means to get a sale price. So in order to figure out the sale price of an item, we need to start off with the original price, and then subtract the discount, right? And if we're given this information, this will be really easy to do. If I give you an $80 item and I say you're going to save $20 on that item, you would just simply take 80 minus $20 saved, and that means you would pay $60 for that item. The sale price would be $60. However, we're working with percents, so we're not going to be given a dollar discount. Instead, we're going to be given a percent off. So what students might do, given the absence of any other strategy, is they might calculate what that percent off is, turn it into a dollar amount, and then subtract. What we're trying to do is make a connection that if we manipulate the percents, we can find our final sales price with one step. So we explicitly laid out that manipulation of percents as a strategy. So I'm going to come in here, and instead of talking about the prices, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the percents. So the original price of an item is 100% or 100% of the cost. And what we're going to take away from that is the discounted percent off. And what that is going to give us is a percent of original cost. And then we had an example. If I get a shirt for 25% off, what I would do is I would take 100% minus 25%. That would give me 75%. And I know I would be paying 75% of the original cost for this shirt. And then I would use that information to calculate the price of the shirt. Now, the whole reason we're doing this is because really taking almost any percentage away from 100 should be mental math. So if we're going to subtract 39%, we would end up with 61%. If we were going to subtract 40%, we would end up with 60%, and so on. So while we're writing this down now, this really should be a mental math calculation. So this is how we end up using the factor. Let me go ahead and clear this off, because the percent of the original price is actually, when we write it as a decimal, becomes the factor that we use. So mental math tells us that if I'm taking 25% off, I'm going to pay 75% of the original cost. Okay, we know of is multiplication. So 75% as a decimal is 0.75. Let's say the original cost of this item that we got 25% off of was, let's say, $88. So I would take 0.75 times $88. I would get out my handy dandy calculator. Highly recommend that your student have a calculator for class. They can have a scientific calculator. However, on the standardized test, they can just use a basic 4-function calculator. I encourage my students to get a scientific calculator so I can teach them how to use the higher level functions. But just know on the state test, they can only use addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Anyway, oh, that's odd. I actually have something similar to this calculation already in there. I'm going to take 0.75 times $88, and I will get a $66 answer. And this represents what I will pay. This is $66 is the sale price. It's not the discount, but it is what I will pay after taking 25% off. So this is what we shifted to in class, and we're going to do a lot more of this. However, your homework, the homework is for something that we've already practiced quite a bit. We haven't done this enough for me to confidently assign homework for, but this is what we started on today, and this is what we're going to spend a few days mastering before we move on to the next concept. Your student's homework is this assignment. We have the buying price of some items for Roberto sales, and we're going to mark up that price by a certain percent, actually by a large percent. And then we're going to find the selling price. We're going to find the commission, which is a percent of the markup, and then the profit that the shop makes on the sale. So the shop has to pay the commission out to their salesperson after the salesperson sells that item. So here, if we were to work out the second one, 10%, $10, excuse me. If we're marking up by 100%, that means we're multiplying by 100%, which is 1, and the additional 80%, which is 0.8. We do that in our calculator. 10 times 1.8 is 18. So our price after the markup, selling price after the markup is $18. The markup itself is $8, the difference between the two. Commission is going to be 25% of the markup. So I'm going to have to calculate 25%, which is 0.25 of what my markup was, which was $8. 25% of 8 is 2. So now I know I have to pay commission of $2. And profit, money the shop makes after the sale. If I sold it for 18, but I had to pay a commission of 2, the shop is going to make $16. All right. Went ahead and did the first one for you. Let me do the second one for you, and I'll leave the third one for the students. Here we go. We've got $55 item. We're going to mark it up by 80%. So we're going to multiply it by 180% as a decimal. This one, I'm not going to do mental math. I'm going to go ahead and get a calculator for. Calculator. I'm going to multiply 55 times 1.8. Oh, that's not great. 55 times, goodness, clear everything, 55 times 1.8, excellent, 99. So I know my new price is $99. All right, my board is not great. Please vote for the bond. $99. Selling price. Come on now. $99. The difference from the buying price and the selling price is $44. I don't know why my pen is behaving this way. You might be hearing me hit it pretty hard. Actually, the salesperson recommends that you hit it that hard. I'm not using it, I promise. Commission is 25% of the markup. My markup is $44, so I'm going to go ahead and calculate that out. 25% of $44 is $11. So that means my commission is $11 right here. Go ahead and put units on all of these, even though really units in the row title should suffice. Profit is going to be selling price minus the commission. So 99 minus 11, that'll be an $88 profit on this particular item. So your student's going to follow that same exact process for that last one. I'm going to leave that one up to them. Yep, we'll do that and we'll check it together in class tomorrow. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. I hope you have a great evening.